If you constantly find yourself apologizing for things you didn't do, or if your inner voice sounds suspiciously like the person who hurt you, that is not a character flaw. That is the lasting echo of emotional abuse. You have been told for so long that your worth is dependent on someone else's approval. But today, we are going to dive deep into rebuilding the self worth after emotional abuse. It's time to stop looking for your value in the reflection of someone who didn't see you and start looking at who you were created to be. This is going to be journey of unlearning the lies so you can finally embrace the truth. When we talk about recovering from emotional abuse, we often focus on the event, not the hardest part isn't leaving the relationship. It's unlearning the toxic narrative that took root while you were in it. You might be struggling with low self esteem after abuse because your reality was invalidated for so long. Emotional abuse is like being forced to look into a broken mirror every single day. The person hurting you tells you that you are the problem, that you are too sensitive, or that you are unlovable. Eventually, your brain accepts that image as the truth. But I want to tell you something you need to hear. Your value was settled long ago. It was settled before you met them. And it remains settled now, regardless of what they said. Maybe you stop sharing your opinions because every time you did, someone mocked you. Maybe you started second guessing your memories because you were constantly told that events didn't happen the way you remembered them. Over time, you learned to distrust yourself. That loss of trust is one of the deepest wound emotional abuse leaves behind. There are the three phases. The phase one. So, how to regain confidence after abuse? The first step is reclaiming your truth. When you are in the abusive dynamic, the abuser works overtime to rewrite your history. They tell you that didn't happen or you are crazy for feeling that way. Reclaiming your truth is a spiritual and psychological act of defiance. Start documenting your reality. I encourage you to keep a journal, not to dominate on the pain, but to anchor yourself. Write down the facts of your day, your feelings, and your boundaries. When you read those pages back, you aren't just saying facts, you are saying evidence of your own perspective. You are validating yourself, and that is the radical act of self love. Imagine someone tells you that you are selfish for needing rest. In the moment, you may believe them, but when you write down what actually happened, you might realize you had been helping everyone else all day and simply needed a break. The journal become evidence against the distorted story you have been taught to believe. So tonight, write down three things you know to be true about yourself. Not what others have said about you, what you know to be true. Perhaps you are kind, perhaps you are resilient, perhaps you are survived. The things that would have broken many people start there. Now, the phase number two. The second pillar is radical self compassion. I want to talk about this from a fit perspective. For example, your mind is a temple. Think about that for a second. If you would let someone enter your physical home and start smashing your furniture, why do you allow that same level of cruelty within your own mind. You often internalize the abuser voice because we think it keeps us safe. We think if I criticize myself before they do, maybe I will be prepared. But that isn't protection. That is just self inflicted abuse. Practice pausing when a critical thought arises. Ask yourself, would I say this to a friend who was hurt? If the answer is no, then you don't get to say it to yourself either. Many survivors become their own harshest critics. Even after the abusive relationship ends, the criticism continues because the abuser voice has taken up residence in their mind. They may no longer be speaking to you, but their words continue through your own thoughts. Once I heard someone describe healing this way. Imagine carrying a backpack filled with the rock. Every insult, every put down, every cruel comment become another rock. Eventually, the weight feels normal because you are carried it for so long. Healing begins when you recognize that the backpack was never meant to be yours. The third pillar is what I call micro boundaries. A micro boundaries might sound like I am not available to discuss that right now. I need some time to think before answering. I don't agree with that. No. Notice how none of these statements are rude. They are simple, respectful, and honest. A lot of people think they need to have a massive con- confrontation to heal, but you don't have to overhaul your life overnight. Start small. Maybe it's saying no to a phone call when you are tired. Maybe it's choosing not to explain your choices to someone who doesn't respect them. Each no is an act of faith. It is you saying, I trust that my peace is valuable. Every time you set a boundary, you are strengthening your self worth. You aren't just protecting yourself, you are providing to yourself that you are worthy of protection. The first time you set a boundary, you may feel guilty. That doesn't mean you have done something wrong. It often means you are doing something unfamiliar. So healing is not linear. I want to be very honest with you. The journey is not linear. There will be days when you feel strong and there will be days when that echo of abuse return. That doesn't mean you have failed. It just means you are human. Give yourself grace. You are healing from something deep, and that takes time. Keep coming back to the truth. You are worthy not because of what you do, but because of who you are. You cannot fix what you don't acknowledge. Acknowledging that you were hurt is the first step towards reclaiming your God given power. If you have struggled with this, I want to hear from you. What is one small micro boundary you are finally ready to set? Drop it in the comment below and let's support each other. Hit that like button if the video helped you and subscribe for more faith based healing. You are worth it and you are not alone. So I will see you in the next video. Thank you.